In this lesson, we're going to talk about a particular type of method, the predicate method. Predicate methods are used to return true-false values. So we use them to do things like check to see if a particular letter is a vowel or a consonant, for example, or check to see if a number is even or odd. In fact, those are the two examples we're going to use in this lesson. So let's get started. As I mentioned before, a predicate method is a method that returns a true or false value. So its data type is always going to be Boolean. Our first method we're going to test for is if a number is even or not. So we're going to call that method isEven. The isEven name makes it very clear that this is a predicate method, because just by the sound of the name you know that it's either yes or no or true or false or some type of answer like that. So rather than say like even or odd as the name, saying isEven makes better sense. And we'll just have an integer number be the parameter for that method. The way we test to see if a number is even or odd is by using the modulus operator and trying to see if the number modulus 2 is equal to 0 or not. Any number modulus 2 that's equal to 0 is even, because there would be no remainder. So the remainder would be 0 when that number is divided by 2. So here's how we'll write this. If number modulus 2 equals 0, return true, else return false. And that's all we need. We'll close the method definition. Let's go back to our program. We need a number variable. We'll call it num. We'll prompt the user to enter a number. Num equals convert to int console.readline. If isEven num, console write line num is even, else console write line num is odd. And then we'll add a console read key right here. So let's test our method. Oh, we have an error. All right, let's see where did the error come from. Left out the 0. Let's try it again. There we go. Type in 24. 24 is even. Let's do it again. 103. 103 is odd. And I feel pretty confident that the method works. So there's our first example of a predicate method isEven. And again, the key is that it's going to return a true or false value, so it has a Boolean return type. And then the name also needs to indicate that it's a predicate method. With the isEven lets us know that it's either true, false, yes or no, something like that. Now let's write another method, another predicate method that tests to see if a character entered is a vowel or not. So again, the same beginning, static Boolean, and we'll call this one isVal, and we'll say char letter for our parameter. This one's just a bit more complex than isEven, only because we have a longer if statement. If letter equals A, or letter equals E, or letter equals I, we can continue this down the next line, or letter O, or letter equals U, return true, else return false. Now before I finish this, I'm going to fix this formatting a little bit. I do not like that. It's better to be lined up inside the parentheses like so. Again, I'm always interested in how my code looks so that it's easy to read and figure out. So we can test this. Let's comment out our first example. So here we'll have char a letter, console write, enter a letter equals convert to char, console read line. If isVal, and I hope you see how predicate methods are used, a letter, console write line, a letter is a vowel, else console write line, a letter is a consonant. We already have a console read key, so let's give it a shot. So let's enter a vowel A. Let's run it again. Let's enter X. X is a consonant. Very good. Let's do it one more time. Let's try O. O is a vowel. and I feel pretty confident that it works. So here are two examples of very useful methods in programs, and you'll find yourself as a programmer writing methods like this all the time to help you get work done in your complex programs that you're writing. So predicate methods are Boolean return methods that return true or false based on some sort of test. We're testing either to see if a number is even or to test to see if a letter is A, E, I, O, or U. And there's lots of different predicate methods you can write, but it's a useful technique to learn because you will need methods like this in your programs. Now let's move on to the next lesson. We're going to look at another type of method called the void method, which I've mentioned earlier. And a void method is a method that does not return data but is used only to perform some type of task. And we'll look at that in the next lesson.